By and large, I don't really like talking about things that I would consider to be superficial, which is to say things that really don't go towards making us better people, that don't go towards making us something better than what we are. Things that are a little deeper than that, the soul and the mind and all that kind of good stuff. But can't believe I'm going to talk about this. There's no denying that one of the most attractive features of the Comics Explained channel and this channel is my voice. And it's interesting because I remember there was like a Twitter poll or something like that, or I'd asked it in a video. Maybe it was in Periscope or something along those lines, which I haven't Periscoped in a long time. And I asked people, what is it that made you interested in my channel? And for some people, it was things like I wasn't really familiar with comics and, your videos interested me and different things like that. But for a large percentage of people, better than fair, it was the sound of my voice. And to me, it's so interesting because, I know the effect my voice has on people. Well, at least it depends on the circumstance. It depends on what's going on. For example, like my voice is one that can command a room. And what I mean by that isn't necessarily that I can make the room do whatever I want. It's I can walk into a room and get everyone's attention. I'd have to speak in a way that would make that happen. For example, headphone warning. I would have to speak in a way that would make that happen. For example, I could walk into a room and say, "Hey, everybody, I need everyone's attention right now. Everybody needs to stop. All right, everybody, stop what you're doing." I can speak that way, like speak loud, booming, because my voice carries. A lot of that, being able to speak in that way, which, it's kind of ironic, it comes from singing. That's one of the things a lot of people don't know. I used to be a singer back in the day, back when I was younger, when I was in high school. My mom was, mom was one of the most beautiful singers. She was actually a classically trained opera singer. She didn't really do it professionally, but she was classically trained, and she had, and I don't even say this biased because it was my mom. I say this in an objective, unbiased way. She's one of the most beautiful singers that I'd ever heard. Her voice, she was a soprano, and so her voice was just, it was incredible to listen to her sing, to hear her just bellow out these notes. And she had like a commanding voice when she sang. It was incredible. That's one of the things she taught me. One of the things that you'll learn over the course of your life, whether you take public speaking classes, whatever the case may be, when it comes to speaking with a booming voice, when it comes to speaking with a commanding voice, you speak from your diaphragm. You don't speak through your nose. You speak like you're talking out of your stomach, like your voice is coming from your belly. That's how you talk. Right now I'm just kind of talking normally, but if I really wanted to talk in a way that would command this video and say, guys, this is the craziest thing I've ever heard, then I would talk directly through my diaphragm. And so for a lot of people, I think they struggle with that in the sense that they have voices that are like a little more high pitched, or they have a voice that doesn't really seem to be able to command, like radiate authority like that. But again, kind of going back to what we were talking about before, different circumstances would require me to talk in different ways. For example, this channel is a relaxing channel. It's a laid back channel. It's a channel that you could fall asleep to. It's a channel you could listen to on the way to work. It's a channel you could listen to on the way to class. It's a channel that you probably shouldn't listen to while you're in class. But it's a channel you could listen to, in a wide array of different, doing a wide array of different things. And I've had people tell me, for example, they listen to my videos while they're running, which is interesting to me because my videos aren't really like high energy. So I don't know, maybe it's just relaxing to them. But whatever the case is, I would speak in a more relaxed and casual tone, in this instance. If I'm talking to a woman, there's a woman that I'm really interested in, and I find her to be very attractive, then I would speak in a way that's more sensual, I guess. I would speak a little softer, but just as strong. And I'd say, "Hey, what's going on? My name's Rob, and I'd love to buy you a drink sometime." And that's probably how I would talk with her. Depending on the circumstance. If it's just general conversation. But like, if I'm looking to get her going, I know how to do that. One of the things I've learned over the years, it's not even really something that I would ever intentionally do. It was just the way that I would talk when I was in proximity to a woman that I really liked is I would get a far more dulcet tone, not really dulcet, but I would get a softer tone, and I would still be just as confident in how I spoke, but it would be a lot more welcoming, because you don't want to walk up to a woman that you like and, hey, what's going on? My name is Rob, and I really like you. You don't want to talk that way to a woman that you like. And so it's interesting, because I remember asking a lot of women that I knew back home, a lot of women that I talked to, what it is about my voice that they found to be attractive. Because sometimes they would tell me, they would say like, God, you have an attractive voice. And even like I talked to my sister and I talked to my stepmom, for example, because my stepmom, of course, she was married to my dad for a time. And I asked her about that. I asked her, and some of the female friends that I had, I asked her, I was like, what is it about my voice that you find that people say is so attractive? For my sister and my stepmom, I didn't say, what do you think is attractive about my voice? It's kind of weird. But to my friends, to a lot of the women friends that I had back home, I would ask them, like, what is it about my voice that you would find to be attractive? And they would describe it in different ways. They would say, like for women, it really seemed more predicated on attributes they would consider to be masculine. So it was a voice that seemed controlled, but it was a voice that seemed to exude authority. It was a voice that was relaxing, but it was a voice that was also commanding. And it's interesting to me, because for men, they would approach it more from like a masculine standpoint. Like, dude, man, you just have an amazing voice. Like, you should be on the radio. Like, if you get on the radio and you start talking, people will listen. And it's kind of crazy, because I like that idea that my voice can come across that way. I like the idea that my voice can be forceful, and it can say, hey, here's the thing we need to do. But I also like that my voice can be softer and it can be gentle, and that it attracts a wide array of different people. But no, it's kind of a crazy thing. This woman I'm talking to, that's one of the things she said that that first attracted her. She's like, I heard your voice, and I was just like, wow. That voice though, it's kind of a crazy thing. I might make a video teaching people how to speak, because here's one of the important things. Just because you don't have a voice like mine doesn't mean that you cannot command a room. And that's one of the big misconceptions, kind of going back to what I said a minute ago. People who struggle with that kind of a thing, when it comes to being able to dominate a room, to getting people to listen to you, it's all about how you speak, not necessarily how you sound when you speak. And there's a big difference between those two things. I mean, for a voice that's loud and booming, then sure, it's going to draw a lot of eyes. But what commands a room is speaking with conviction. What commands a room is speaking with confidence and saying, this is a thing that I believe. This is the thing that I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to tell you why I believe it and why it's important to me. And my hope is that even if you don't walk away believing exactly what I believe, you understand its significance to me, being able to speak in a controlled way. And I learned a lot of that in public speaking. I learned a lot of that in taking a class where it was convey your message, convey the significance of your message, what you want the audience to get from your message, and then you're done. Like it was a pretty straightforward process. And I might make a series of videos, or make a video. I don't know if that really warrants a series of videos, but I might make a video kind of talking about that, addressing that idea of how to speak with conviction, how to speak with authority. Because that's one of the things you guys will notice if you've been around Comic Storian. He's the same way. His voice isn't necessarily as like booming as mine, but Benny can walk into a room and everyone knows he's there, because he's just a naturally loud guy. I'm sure there's a reason why, maybe I can probably get him to make a video on why his voice is so like loud and authoritative and controlling. I can probably get him to do that. But yeah, like, he's much the same way in that regard. It's really cool, and it is a great attribute to have. I will say that it is a great attribute to have, in having a very attractive voice. But I will say this is probably something that a lot of you guys have picked up on by now. I have never once said that I like my voice, because would you believe me if I told you that I do not like the sound of my own voice? I do not like the sound of my voice. And I'll tell people that, and they'll be like, what? Why would you not like your voice? Like, I'm like, I do not like the sound of my voice. Maybe it's because I've heard it for so long, but to me, it's just, how I hear it is different from how you guys hear it. And it's not because I have weird hearing or anything like that. It's because it's the nature of things. I mean, there's mountains and mountains of evidence to show that how we hear our own voice is totally different from how others hear it, because when we speak, our voice basically bounces off of our bones and it resonates through our bodies and so on and so forth. So we hear it in a totally different way. But I will say this, the point at which my voice is most attractive that I've heard from people, the point at which my voice is the most attractive is first thing in the morning. That's what I've heard from people, you know, like my voice is the most attractive because my vocal cords are like that big around when I first wake up. It is a deep voice and it's got a really raspy quality to it. So it's raspy and it's deep at the same time. And like that raspy quality that I have right now, imagine that with my voice being a lot deeper. And I have heard many times that it is very sexy and it is kind of a cool thing. But yeah, I don't know. I figured I would make a video talking about my voice. It's one of the things that a lot of you guys really seem to draw attention to whenever I make a video, or people who are new to my channel. I see that a lot. People who are new to like this channel or Comics Explained, they'll just be like, God, this guy's voice though. So I figured maybe I would just address that because I never really have. I've never really made a video addressing my voice and why it sounds the way it does. But yeah, no, I mean, there's other things that go into it in terms of why my voice sounds the way it does, things that I've done over the years, mistakes that I've made that I kind of wanted to backpedal on. But, you know, nonetheless, you know, when it comes to that whole thing, yeah, when it comes to speaking, just remember, speak with confidence, speak with authority. And like I said, you know, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. You know, maybe I'll make a video on that, you know, addressing how to speak with authority. Maybe I'll make that, you know, make a video and throw that out there. So I don't know. Anyway, guys, we're going to bring this video to an end and, yeah, I will catch you all later. Peace.